Hey people, CzarThwomp here, and welcome to episode 74 of Dual Destinies. Last time, we used the mood matrix on Simon, and we discovered that when he entered the robotics lab that day, he essentially saw a scene out of a horror film. He saw Athena covered in blood, standing before her mother's body, and then she turned to him and was basically like, "I'm gonna repair my mother." And so Athena basically confessed the murder, and then basically we are proving that she couldn't have done it because the weapon was a knife. So let's go. Don't tell me your eye for art is failing you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You are the last person in the world who should be criticizing my aesthetic sense. Edgeworth, I was an art major in college. I am qualified to talk about art. What do you have?
No, he's simply watching out for your ocular health. Please proceed, Mr. Wright.
Notice the handles of each of these tools have a sort of design on them.
Ah, I see that they do, but what significance does that have?
It's clear that one of the tools is missing from this kit. If we rearrange the tools into a specific pattern, we might be able to tell which part of the overall design is missing. Is that the theory or pitiful sense of aesthetics helped you come up with? Edgeworth, just let it go, man. Show the quote then, if you would. What pattern or design would we see if we rearrange the tools?
Take that!
Here it is.
That's the design we'll see when we rearrange the tools?
That's right. Of course you have to have an open mind, and squinting a little helps too. Uh-oh, I got the side treatment.
Please answer seriously, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll be very serious next time, I promise. These red and white markings, I know I've seen them somewhere before. Show the court.
Take that! And what design is this supposed to represent?
The Gaiaxa logo, Your Honor. It's on all of the Space Center's documents and pamphlets. As you're aware, Gaiaxa is the program that operates the Cosmos Space Center. Look at how brightly the Gaiaxa logo shines in the sunlight above the entranceway. I really dig the stars and rocket motif it's got going. Gaiaxa, huh? Isn't that the new name of the Federal Space R&D program?
I think I see it now, but...
Yes, with just the tools shown in this photo. The red A bar of the logo is missing. And this is where the murder weapon from the Turan case comes into play. If we were to place the utility knife in the open slot, it would complete the Gaiaxa logo.
So it would. Then that means...
Admit it, Mr. Edgeworth. My aesthetic sense is keener than yours. And while you're at it, admit that the weapon Miss Sykes used could have been this one. No!
Order in the court!
Miss Sykes confessed to having a memory of stabbing the victim. Admittedly, Miss Sykes most likely did stab someone, using the utility knife. Their body is in the trash chute. However, the weapon used to kill Dr. Sykes was the katana. Therefore, the act of stabbing that Miss Sykes remembers couldn't have been that of Dr. Sykes. Very well. Let's suppose for a minute that Miss Sykes did use the utility knife. Tell me, how does that change anything? Come again? What if the katana was only being used as a decoy to conceal the true murder weapon? What if the real weapon that took the victim's life was the utility knife? Don't be ridiculous, or are you changing the premise of your entire argument? To defeat the darkness, right, I must become the darkness. I'm merely offering a hypothetical situation derived from your logic. Miss Sykes could have put the blood in the katana to make it look like the murder weapon. What type of Machiavellian 11-year-olds has Edgeworth dealt with? I mean, I don't even think you could maybe argue that Francisca could have pulled something like this off when she was 11. But basically, I highly doubt that basically Francisca could be used as the model of 11-year-old kids. Just seriously, really, Edgeworth just absolutely going ham acting like Athena was this grand mastermind. Athena making Simon Keys look like a punk amateur. And then concealed the knife on her personage until Blackwell carried her away.
That does clear up the contradiction between Miss Sykes' memories and the evidence.
If, in fact, the murder weapon is a utility knife, then fate has dealt to a cruel hand. For you have just proven the knife's existence to the rest of us with your own logic. Yeah, just Edgeworth. He's like, I am going to rid the world of the Dark Age. Yeah, oh yeah, basically. Yeah, basically, everyone's acting like the Dark Age is just Phoenix's forged use of the forged diary page and just Simon being arrested. No. In this day and age, basically, just the Dark Age of the law is being supported by Phoenix using that forged playing card and revamping the entire justice system, manipulating it just to take Kristoff down, basically. And then Edgeworth going around basically first-degree murder charging 11-year-old children. When basically the entire intent of the murder was up for debate and could have very well been manslaughter. Yeah, basically Edgeworth, everything is a first-degree murder to him. Everyone's scared, basically. Just you fight, you kill someone in self-defense. First-degree murder. A child drowns in a lake because basically they weren't being supervised. First-degree murder. Someone dies of natural causes due to old age. First-degree murder. The prosecution's attempting to leave the court. I am the court, right? You're the one attempting to lead the court, Mr. Wright, by forcing us to forget the facts of this case. Need I remind you that there were only 2 people in the lab at the time of the murder, and that the defendant herself recalls stabbing someone with her own hands? No. It matters not whether the murder weapon was a katana or a utility knife, as long as we know that the victim and the defendant were the only ones there. You cannot escape the fact that it was Athena Sykes who killed her own mother. I don't believe it. Why? Why does this keep happening? Why is it that every time someone I know is in the defendant's chair, you act like this, Edgeworth? First with Maya, back when Red White killed Mia, and now this? Every time I find a contradiction, it vanishes and the suspicion keeps coming back. It's almost as if, now you're finally starting to get it. Your contradictions keep vanishing because the charge is true, and the suspicion keeps coming back to the defendant because that's where it belongs. Phoenix Wright, when will you open your eyes and accept the truth? I don't want to believe it. It can't be true. But what if?
Mr. Wright, you fought a good fight. I think you've done all you can do.
Is giving up really the only option? No. Snap out of it, Phoenix. What's the matter with you? Giving into doubt. I can't look back. Forward is the only way to go. No, Your Honor, not yet. It's not over yet. Right? I can't lose sight of what's important. I believe in Athena, and I'll always believe in her. To the very end. A defense lawyer never gives up on his client. I have to pick myself up and stand firm. Make that brain of yours work, Phoenix. If I don't see a way, I'll just have to go back and look for one. Time to rethink this case thoroughly. Right? Why are you staring at me like that? I can see the fact that Athena must have stabbed someone with the utility knife. That must be what Pongo witnesses Athena's hug. But Prosecutor Blackwell didn't see the knife at the scene. This means that someone must have removed it from the lab before he arrived. Who could have taken the utility knife from the lab? Menace! Maybe Dr. Sykes was still alive, and she's the one who took the knife away. Nah, that's definitely not it. If I trust Athena, then I have to conclude that there was a third person at the scene. But according to Ponko's testimony, Athena and her mother were the only two there. So then, how did this third person manage to escape Ponko's detection? I know, the person was to fool Ponko's facial recognition by covering Ponko's face! Maybe the person covered Ponko's face so they wouldn't be recognized. But no, in that case, Ponko wouldn't have recognized anybody, not even Athena. But wait a minute, Ponko has a heartbeat detection system too. Even if they covered their own face, Ponko could have still detected their presence. But she wouldn't have been able to tell who they were. Wait, that's it! The culprit could have covered their face and posed as which person to avoid detection. Simon Blackwell! But the culprit covered their face and posed as Prosecutor Blackwell. Ponko already said she recognized the real Blackwell. I guess 2 Prosecutor Blackwells isn't the answer. Yeah, 2 Prosecutor Blackwells don't make a right. Back to the drawing board. Ponko! What if the culprit poses Ponko? That way, the real Ponko would just think she was looking in a mirror. Okay, now that's just silly. Scratch that. Gotta have fun with it. If the culprit poses the victim, that would explain why Ponko thought only she and Athena were there. All they had to do was take advantage of Ponko's basic recognition features. The real culprit used this in order to pose as the victim. The culprit could have posed as the victim by wearing her jacket with the ID tag on it. But that still leaves the heartbeat detection system. How did the culprit get around that? It wouldn't have worked if Ponko could detect the real Dr. Sykes' heartbeat too. So that mean that the real Dr. Sykes was already dead by that time? If that's the case, then who did Athena stab? That's it! The person Athena stabbed wasn't Dr. Sykes. It was the person who murdered her and then pretended to be her. The real culprit. Yeah, just Phoenix looking like he's ready to kick Edgeworth's ass. Just Phoenix, yeah, I got an objection. And then Phoenix just jumps over the bench and just tackles Edgeworth. Take that! Now that Mr. Wright has finally finished thinking, let us bring this to a swift end. Please give us your verdict, Your Honor, so that we can move on to the hostage negotiations.
You are absolutely right, Prosecutor Edgeworth. I hereby...
Objection!
I didn't say I was finished. I was only pausing for a second. I didn't hear no bell, Edgeworth. Because I realized something so shocking I had to take a break to digest it. But now I know for a fact that Miss Sykes is innocent. But Ponko saw me. She witnessed the moment of the crime. Yes, Ponko did witness something. She saw the hug. In other words, the moment you used the utility knife. But the person you stabbed wasn't your mother.
What are you saying, Mr. Wright?
The answer is simple. The person Miss Sykes stabbed was a third person posing as Dr. Sykes.
What?
Objection!
Do you really expect us to swallow that, Mr. Wright? According to the robot's statement, there was no third person there. Did you really think I wouldn't see through your ludicrous grab for time?
Objection!
After all we've been through, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm disappointed. Don't you know by now that this smile of mine means I have absolute confidence? No, it means that you're grasping at straws and you're willing to make some absurd statement that will make me cry on the inside. Ha! You make that pose all the time, regardless of the facts. Klonko's strange malfunction.
Mr. Durand, you look pale. Shall I help you to the sick bay?
Mr. Turan? But that's Apollo you're talking to. Oh, this hunk of junk here is mistaking Apollo for Clay. Maybe Apollo is possessed by Clay's ghost. That was another case of mistaken identity caused by a jacket ID tag. All because Klonko couldn't read Apollo's facial features due to that eye patch. Like Mr. Edgeworth said, a mask could nullify the robot's facial recognition, and then all the person would have to do is wear a jacket with the victim's ID tag to pose as her.
Objection!
Of all the ridiculous theories, what good would a silly disguise like that do? Have you forgotten that the robot also has a heartbeat detection system? If there was a third person at the scene, the robot would have detected them. I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth, but that doesn't count for much, I'm afraid. Because by that time, Dr. Sykes' heart had already stopped beating. What?
So does that mean?
Yes, Your Honor. The person Miss Sykes stabbed. This third person who was posing as Dr. Sykes is her mother's real killer. But that's... I'm impossible! And just look at disgust on his face, like, no! I can't send your support into the grave, right? I can't send it to the gallows! Damn it, right! You ruined my day! A mask? The person I stabbed was wearing a mask?
Order in the court! Miss Sykes, did you say something?
A mask? Yes, I remember Athena, what is it? I remember a man with a mask. How could he? What did he do to my mother? My head.
Miss Sykes, are you alright?
No! The black Cyclocks. They're breaking. It's all coming back to me. Everything that happened the day my mother was murdered. They're gone. The black Cyclocks are finally gone. You didn't really stab your mother, did you? It's all right, Athena. Just tell us what you saw that day. I was drawing a picture. When I was done, I went to show it to my mom. I opened the door, and then, nah. It's all right. I'm right here. You're safe, Athena. She was on the floor by the workbench with the katana sticking out of her. There was her handkerchief over her face, but I knew it was her by her clothes. And there was a man there.
A man?
Hold it!
Quiet, Your Honor. Go on, Athena. He tried to attack me. In a panic, I grabbed the knife that was there and... he dodged at first, so I only got his clothes. But I tried again. I was out for blood. And this time you got him, didn't you? I did. I remember it clearly now. The knife went into the back of his hand. Then he kicked me, and I passed out. When I came to, my mom wasn't moving. I had to do something. I had to fix her, and I thought... So I asked Ponko to move her to the operating table. Something's wrong with Mom, so I'm taking her apart to fix her. So that's why she said that. Your Honor, as you can see, the defendant has just given us critical new testimony. A man was there before Miss Sykes arrived, a man who covered the victim's face and put on the victim's jacket. This man is the real culprit.
Miss Sykes, do you have any idea who this man was?
No, I'm afraid I don't. A few moments ago, Miss Sykes mentioned a mask. Athena, can you tell us anything else about that? Yes, the mask. It was my mom's Japanese theater mask. I think it was the one hanging on the wall on the lab.
Oh, this mask hanging here on the wall?
It was kind of spooky, that mask. My mom used to tell me. that a no mask even has the power to turn an ordinary human being into a phantom. A phantom?
It would seem that a new suspect has emerged. And that means that all suspicion against Miss Sykes has... You see, this is precisely why I can't trust the court system. Athena Sykes is the murderer. I won't accept any other verdict.
This Blackwell, this is not good.
A new suspect? Where's the proof of this person ever existed? Who says it wasn't all just a dream in the little princess's groggy little head?
Oh, she's right. We don't have any hard evidence of the masked man's existence.
Objection!
Thank you, Mr. Wright. I'll never be able to repay you for all you've done. But I'm fine now, because I can say with certainty that I didn't kill my mother. Athena, I'm so glad for you. More and more memories are coming back now. So I'd like to say one thing if I could. Ponko came to the robotics lab at around 2 p.m. to recharge. I went to the robotics lab at around 2 p.m. for my regular recharge. Just as I was about to charge up, Athena came in and hugged Mommy Metis. And then Mommy Metis fell down. After that, I was recharging, so I don't know anything. I see where you're going with this. If Mommy Metis was really the killer in disguise. Right, then he must have come to the robotics lab before 2 p.m. Do I have anything here in the evidence that can help me find this person who came to the lab before 2 p.m.?
Take that!
This piece of evidence will reveal the identity of the person who came to the lab. Will it now? Then reveal away by all means. Oh, how about if we team up for this, Mr. Edgeworth? No. How about you, Your Honor? What do you say?
Certainly, I'll help you. I will help you to remember to think before you speak.
Ow! Tag team by lemon juice and paper cut. Could an image of the culprit possibly have been captured anywhere? Okay.
Take that!
This is Prosecutor Blackwell leaving the scene after the incident around 3 p.m. What I'm wondering is, does the video show anyone else passing by there before then? I don't see anything in the investigation report. It looks like they didn't check. Just as I thought. So if we rewind the footage and go back to around 2 p.m., we should be able to see the true culprit leaving the scene.
Very well. Let's take a look.
There. Please stop it right there.
It's just like you said. There's a man leaving the scene of the crime.
Miss Sykes, do you remember this person? That's him. I'm sure of it. He's wearing my mother's jacket. I did, but what I really wanted to see was her jacket. That jacket on display, that was Dr. Sykes. Can you see it? There's the slash I made with the utility knife that day. And I'm sure that knife is under the jacket somewhere.
So then, everything Miss Sykes said.
Exactly. It proves that Miss Sykes' memory was correct. Dr. Sykes' killer arrived at the robotics lab before 2 p.m. He killed her and hit her face with a handkerchief. Then, he disguised himself with Dr. Sykes' jacket and mask that were in the lab. The culprit probably knew beforehand that Ponko charged up at 2 p.m. every day. So he waited for Ponko to come to the lab for her regular recharge. By leaving Dr. Sykes' jacket on, the culprit tricked Ponko into thinking he was Dr. Sykes, thereby making it look like she was alive up to that point in time. All to disguise the real time of death.
Objection!
It's a nice theory, Mr. Wright, but I'm afraid that it's just not possible. What? Why not? The victim's jacket is clearly visible right there in the video. And that right there is precisely the problem. The ID tag on the jacket at the scene confirms beyond doubt that it belonged to the victim. If the person who left the lab truly was wearing the victim's jacket, then how could he have possibly have wound up back at the crime scene? What's going on? That doesn't make sense. Edgeworth's right. If the culprit was wearing the jacket, how did he get back to the lab? Basically, this is where you get the second bad ending. Basically, you have to say that the killer brought it back. So basically, the victim brought it back. Dr. Sykes must have brought it back to the lab herself. I'm afraid she would have had to come back from the dead to accomplish that feat. Can't you explain to the court exactly how she managed it? Spirit channeling, Edgeworth. Damn it, right! Not again!
Objection!
Don't be ridiculous, Edgeworth. Everybody knows that's impossible.
Exactly the prosecutor's point, Mr. Wright. That's enough. That's enough. I've had more than my fill of your worthless arguments.
But...
This trial is over. Now hand Athena Sykes over to me. You know what will happen if you don't.
No matter what I said, I couldn't change Aura Blackwell's mind. Athena was taken away. And I never heard from her again. So how did that work? Did Klonko grab Athena and then just rush out of the courtroom? No one was stopping that? No one was calling the police? Athena wasn't fighting back? Basically, was the trial just abruptly ended and they were like, just screw the justice system, we're just sending Athena to jail? We're sending her to the gallows on Edgeworth's first-degree murder charge? And then what about the hostages? Did Aura let Trucy go? Or was Aura just gonna keep them hostage forever? Yes, basically the killer brought back. And they give us a full bar. The killer used the jacket as a disguise to make his escape. But in order to conceal that fact, he had to get the jacket back to the crime scene. So the culprit simply returned to the robotics lab later and planted it there. Contradiction resolved.
Objection!
Except that it would have been impossible. The only people who came to the robotics lab after the killer were Prosecutor Blackwell and the people who reported the body. And they claimed that the jacket was there when they arrived. So, when did you propose that this mysterious man of yours had the chance to return the jacket?
A puzzling question indeed.
When did the culprit have the chance to bring the jacket back? The only time the culprit could have returned the jacket was when the body was found. Mr. Wright, do you realize the implication of that argument? I do. Most people, when they come across a murder, focus their attention on the body. The culprit could have taken advantage of that split second to plant the jacket. In other words, the true culprit of this case, the man known as the Phantom, was one of the first people to discover the body.
I would never have thought of that. Order the court. What is the meaning of this, Prosecutor Edgeworth?
The body was discovered and reported by a group of 3 people. They were there to collect the space probe's capsule in preparation for the hot launch. One launch. One of those people has a special bag to transport the capsule in. Oh, you mean the shock-resistant bag? Correct. I suppose that the jacket was in that bag. It could have been returned to the scene of the crime without anybody noticing. I'll see to it that you get the reports of those 3 people, and I will be sure to cut their pays. There's gonna be salaries rolling. You will? We should also check the facial recognition database for that robot. If the person felt the need to hide his face with the theater mask, it might have meant that his facial data was once registered.
But Prosecutor Edgeworth, does this mean?
I have to admit, I believe Miss Sykes' memories to be credible. You win, right? Not that this was ever an official trial anyways. Yeah, not an official trial. Yeah, basically, meanwhile, Edgeworth in this unofficial trial was basically going, she's going to the chair! First degree! First degree!
Do my ears deceive me? Prosecutor Edgeworth, are you actually conceding?
Yeah, basically, Edgeworth, he's like, it's not like it was a real trial anyways. Is it true, boss? Does this mean I can't believe it. It's over. I won. I proved that both Athena and Prosecutor Blackwell are innocent. Your Honor, I see no need to further prolong this trial. Hold on, Mr. Wright. Have you forgotten who's in charge of this trial?
That's right. I'm the one who's supposed to say, I see no need to further prolong.
Not you either, Your Honor. Now silence.
The little princess who was truly beloved by Metis and who repaid that love with death. All these years, hating Athena was the only thing that kept me going. But what do I do now? Can anybody tell me? How am I supposed to go on?
Miss Blackwell. Humph! How unlike you, Aura. Metis was deeply passionate about her work, and she chose you as a partner, isn't that?
Shut up, Simon. You know exactly how I felt about her. Her respect as a co-worker wasn't all that I wanted. Then what did you want from her?
Did you really need to go there, Your Honor? Aura, is there something Aura, there is something I've wanted to say, if you will lend me an ear. I have in my possession a lead on who Metis' murder is. You do? Right, Dono. You asked me about the identity of the Phantom of 7 years past. That's right. The Phantom, the person Blackwell has been looking for, even from behind bars. 7 years ago, somebody hatched a plan to sabotage the Hat One rocket. The spy. But he was no ordinary spy. We knew naught about him, his background, appearance. We came to refer to him as the Phantom. At the time, I was working with the police to hunt him down. And then one day, a miracle occurred, and I obtained a lead on him.
Oh, how exciting! What was that lead?
Oh yeah, this is one of my favorite songs in the game. The Phantom theme, Phantom Unknown. Well, I like this song. It's good. A recording of the Phantom's voice, but the quality was too poor for proper voice analysis. Yes, yet I had hope. Aura's co-worker was a scientist who could analyze human emotions. So I asked her to evaluate the recording using analytical psychology. And that scientist was Dr. Sykes? Yes, a spy's greatest fear is to have his true identity discovered. In addition to Act 1, Dr. Sykes' results and the recording were surely among his targets. But his search of the Space Center bore no fruit, so he must have started to panic.
He couldn't find them? But where could they have been?
I hid them in the one place they wouldn't look. Under Edgeworth's mattress. Who's to say? Wow, I bet he's never let that out of his sight all these years. How in the world did you smuggle them into prison? Oh, I have my ways. What's more, my partner's especially talented at that sort of thing. I worked to lure the Phantom in by spreading rumors throughout the underworld. I was even granted permission to prosecute cases to attract the Phantom's attention. Just try to retrieve your identity, you bloody butcher, became my taunt. I'd never heard you say that once. It was something I said during investigations. And what about the results Dr. Sykes drew up for you? Was there any useful information? Here, you can see for yourself. But take good care of it. It's all I have left of my mentor. I will. I'd better hold on to this real tight. Psychological profile classified. Emotional output of this voice is extremely weak compared to typical voices. Subject deemed to have unique psychological makeup with almost no emotional fluctuation. No emotional fluctuation, huh? A spy who experiences no emotion, no sadness, not anger, and naturally, no fear. He's the very definition of a phantom, a monster with no heart, don't you see? This creature is the rot that destroyed our lives and set what ails us all into motion. I swear, I can't prove it, but I believe that phantom was the mastermind behind the 4 kids dub of One Piece. The Phantom indeed, a fitting name for the one who has brought darkness to our world.
Well then, it seems a faint image of this man has started to take shape. Based on what we have learned, I'd like all of you to conduct further investigation. This is not a formal trial, but I do want to follow protocol. If I may, I'd like to hand down my verdicts and bring these proceedings to an end. Whatever. Do what you want.
Humph. You will hear no objections from me. Yes, please, Your Honor. It's over. It's finally over.
Very well. In that case, Prosecutor Blackwell, could you please take the stand?
I was already at the stand, you dotted!
As the result of this trial, your innocence has been proven.
Sorry, had to burp.
The verdict handed down 7 years ago was hereby overturned.
Humph.
And now, the defendant of the current trial, Miss Athena Sykes.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, thank you. Thank you for everything. Athena, you're more than welcome.
If everyone is ready, I will now give my verdict. You!
That makes you wonder where Apollo was hiding this entire time. Was Apollo just in the rafters like Batman? He was just waiting to pounce down. Just Apollo body slams on Phoenix.
Not today, Mr. Wright!
Apollo? What is the meaning of this?
Congratulations, Mr. Wright and Prosecutor Edgeworth! Oh! This is not happening. You uncovered the truth from 7 years ago, and say Prosecutor Blackwell! However, I can't let this trial to end just yet!
Why, Apollo? Why would you do this to us? You wonder why I make you babysit Trucy. You wonder why I make you clean the toilet. This is why, Apollo. We can't have nice things because of you. Anyways, on that note, I think that now would be a good time to end things off. I really appreciate that you stuck around to watch this episode. You're a great viewer, and I hope you come back for the next one. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever you want. With that, see you next time. Bye.